Well, this is fun. First thing I would like to say is I think Demon Slayer does a good job in how they show off their fights and techniques. Like, for example, Yorichi saying the moves on him executing all the sword techniques and displaying them, even though he stated himself that one hit from Muzan could kill him in one hit. And also in the fight with Akaza, right? Even though it was like still strength at the end, and Akaza noted himself that he was running out of water breathing techniques, and a fight against the drum demon, and like later back, like where Tanjiro only had water breathing. Those are just good fights of techniques, and that's why I believe on how Demon Slayer does their fights with their breathing techniques great, or not great, but good.
I won't disagree that once the techniques are employed, they utilize them effectively. I don't think our issue has ever been that the techniques themselves are the issue. It's us learning about the techniques
How do they get them?
and how do they acquire them essentially.
And
Because
like mainly the differences between them, like fire breathing and water breathing. What's the differences if at the end of the day it's just sword swinging? You could say that you're flowing like water, but what if I show you a technique of a fire breather where they're flowing, their sword is sort of flowing like that? What's the difference then?
yeah, our issue isn't the utilization like water wheel. I understand after he uses water wheel why water wheel was effective in that moment because there have been times where he needs to slow down. Water wheel helps with that. I completely understand it, and I will say that when they utilize it in that way, it is done effectively. It is done well. The issue has always been how do they acquire these things, and why can't a water breather learn fire breathing techniques and stuff like that? So yeah,
Yeah.
I agree that when it's done, it's utilized correctly. It's
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
But we got to go back to the first step of how did he obtain these things, especially in the case of Tanjiro, when it was said that Orokodaki didn't teach him anything after he was just like cut this rock, and he always intended for him to fail. So why did he teach him anything? Why did he teach him? How did he teach him like water wheel if you need the breathing in order to do that? He didn't teach him the breathing. The little girl taught him the breathing. So he taught him the
Uh,
form of water wheel, but didn't teach him the breathing in order to do the water wheel. So why even teach him the water wheel at all?
uh,
So that's the thing. It's you got to go back to the beginning. It's like okay, once we're here, fine, whatever, sure. But the beginning of he just learns these things. We don't really know the differences between the techniques of like fire breathing, water breathing, things like blessed rain after a drought. How do you kill? What does it mean to kill somebody painlessly and with mercy? Things like that. The fact that you got all 10 of them, but they're established in the moment that they're first introduced, and then you just have to sort of remember them. So you have to remember what's flowing dance, how does it work, what's the best opportunities to use it, when that's one of the first things that he used, and then you have 9 other things that are introduced, and he used flowing dance like once or twice, so you don't know what the best exact situation for it to be used when he's constantly introducing 7 to 8 other more techniques.
Yeah, it's poor implementation for the audience because we aren't able to go, oh my god, water will be great here. Oh my god, blank would be great here. We just have to wait until he uses the proper technique and go, oh, so water will worked here. Oh, blessed rain after a drought worked here.
And if we talk too much, just like, hey, shut up, shut up, I gotta say,
Yeah, because we'll go.
yeah.
oh no, it's fine. Yeah, I guess you're right at the part. The only one we really know about, if I'm correct, it wasn't like the sun breathing on papers from Rengoku's family
Yeah,
home. So
it
like that's the
was.
only one we really know about.
That's
That could probably
that. I'm sorry to cut you off. That was the only one where it's stated that it's hard for blank person to learn. There's no there.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the original, so some people just cannot learn that one, and it was passed down. That's basically the only one we know. Everything else is either self-taught or taught by some master.
Yeah.
And again, it wouldn't be a problem if we saw outright what it takes to learn, let's say, a water wheel. Let's say he was under a water and he had to curl up in a ball and there was some suspension device where he's just spinning in the air.
And he's like, this is the feeling of the spinning that I need to acquire when I do my water wheel.
But we don't get that. We get very basic, use your sword like this.
Taught me how to do this, and he taught me, and I swung my sword 100 times this day, and then he just learns them all. To the point where the first time he does, I think the first thing that he does is flowing dance. He's like, I can do it. I can kill demons. And was he unsure of his abilities beforehand? I don't know why this is such a revelation if he does them. And that's another thing. He just does everything perfectly. There is no technique where he goes, water pillar. Dang, that's the one that the little girl was not that good at, and Orokodaki wasn't that good at. So I don't really know that one, but they were also really, really good at the little stabby one. So I'm really good at that. No, he just does all of them flawlessly to the point where he's just combining them and stuff. And things like that just sort of pile up with the fighting. The fighting itself, once you're in the fight, you got the ball girl, and it's just like, hey, I got to redirect the arrows and stuff. That's all understandable and stuff. But how did we get here? That's what we have to remember.
Yeah. I don't think I have anything else to say on that. What's another one? Or another problem, really?
If we're going into, are we going into manga or just anime?
The season 1.
Season 1?
Manga.
Okay. Tanjiro's, Tanjiro's acquisition of the sun breathing. He saw so for the techniques he learned from Orokodaki, he said he swung his sword about 100 times. He had to do all these things. And he acquires the sun breathing technique just from memory. Does it the very first time he's ever tried it.
Does it perfectly, such that beforehand he was unable to cut Rui strings, but now he's able to cut Rui strings. We don't know what exactly makes it more powerful other than them simply saying
they can
that this
shove
is the
off.
strongest.
Yeah, that's the bum saying.
Other than them just saying that it's the strongest, and we don't really know exactly what makes it the strongest. So we just have to accept that now he can cut the strings because he's using the strongest technique, that we don't know why it's the strongest, other than the fact that it's simply the strongest.
In fact, I won't even go that. I will go, why was he able to cut strings after that? Because it said that each breathing technique is different from one another, but we have no indication of what makes one different than the other. There's no harder force for sun breathing. There's no quicker slices for water breathing. It is strictly, it's a water breathing technique and it's a fire breathing technique.
And I don't believe that holding your sword at a 90-degree angle now makes it, these uncuttable strings, now cuttable. So what is it about the sun breathing that made it able to cut it when the water breathing couldn't? And Tanjiro was tired, and his sword was broken, and this is the first time that he had done it. From memory.
So yeah, that's a big problem for us.
Oh, yeah. One thing I can say against it is that I think since it is the original and since all the others are derivative, is maybe that as I'm trying to think.
So
As it goes down, it gets more and more diluted. So this is a more perfect like twist and swing as opposed to the water wheel, the horizontal water wheel. It's a facsimile of it, so it's a lot weaker.
But
that's
in the indication of that would mean that it's easier for people to use those techniques and learn those techniques. But we don't see a combination of techniques from that diluted pool. We don't see like water breathing mixed with thunder breathing for the vast majority of it. We don't see a fire breather able to use earth breathing for the vast majority of it. It is
Oh
strictly
yeah.
this is where you are and these are your techniques. And we have no indication of why a person cannot learn or do another form's techniques,
Yeah,
another
the
style's
only
technique.
one we really have is Tanjiro.
Yeah,
Oh, where he did the water, fire.
he did water, he did sun, and he did one thunder breathing technique. And if
Oh,
it was just that easy because he just learned it from Zenitsu telling him how to do it. And if it's just that easy, you would think that Hashira's are
Would
combining
spec
theirs.
into each other, especially since they're if they're supposed to be out on patrol and everything, but the second that the main dude was just like, hey, everybody come together, they're all the Hashira are there for Tanjiro and Nezuko. So it's easy to gather them again. I don't see why they don't just go, hey, if it's easy enough that Tanjiro could just be told something and learn it, I don't see why these masters can't spec into other things.
I guess it would be hard on their breathing since even Tanjiro said it himself that it will hurt his lungs.
He said switching between them quickly would hurt was hurting his lung. And that was even I think it was either right before he started doing the or it was right after. Yeah,
This was
because
right after Rui. This was
entertainment
past
district.
yeah, they also passed the train district.
So, uh, Hashira's lungs, they've already learned how to do all those things. They've already been doing it for months, years, what have you. Even if it's hard on your lungs, it is better to have a larger range of demon killing techniques at your disposal to break out any time. Like, oh, I can just get a speed boost here.
Yeah, why is thunder breathing just not basic? Just not. Yeah, you learned your techniques, but also here's the thunder breathing stuff. If it is essentially the way that Zenitsu put it, just putting the air into your legs,
Oh,
stuff like that. And what does it mean to rock breathe? Where does your air go for that? Where does your air go for love? Where does your air go for water?
Poison breathing.
I'm mostly I'm mostly assuming for rock breathing it goes into his arms, mostly for the weapons he wields, especially with how he coordinates the weapons
But I would
with swinging them
also
in the air, stomping on the chain.
But I would also say it would have to go into his legs to keep him steady and sturdy like a rock, so he can't be moved. That's also an assumption. It could also be going to his core because he needs that power to swing those big weapons. So we don't know exactly where it goes.
Could it also be from his training? Because Rengoku does have a steady stance, especially against the when he ran into Akaza's disorder.
Okay, so if it's based on their training, that even leads further questions of why aren't you able to just spec into another person's breathing style or forms? If they're all essentially doing, I can do a sturdy stance, why can't they do rock breathing? If everybody could just hear, because again, Tanjiro's not that special. He's just a guy. He can do sun breathing, sure, but he's just a guy. He just hears Zenitsu tell him how to do a thunder breathing technique and he does it. If that's all it takes, even just a little bit of training added to that, for you to be able to increase your speed 2 times, threefold, why aren't all the people doing this? That's where the techniques start to get a little iffy in their implementation because if they're implemented well from what we know, but based on what we know, there's no reason that there shouldn't be more.
Okay, I can understand love of breathing
Oh
because
yeah,
it's
I'm
for
not even
sort of
gonna.
a bit weaker. Yeah, and stone breathing to an extent, and maybe stone breathing doesn't require a sword,
Yeah, we just don't
but if
know. Because especially since he's the only one, We don't know if it's the sword that is the big mace thing that enables the stone breathing. We don't know for love breathing if it's her wavy sword that enables the love breathing. We don't know because they're the only one. So we don't. If it was somebody that was just like, yeah, I'm a stone breather, but I'm a little bit faster than that guy, you could go, okay, so stone breathing isn't about sturdiness, and he's got a sword, so it isn't about the thing, the big mace thing either. So what is the stone breathing? And then that's where we would have to be explained these things. But all we can have is assumptions based upon this one person with this one weapon doing this one thing. And we don't even know if he's
Yeah.
the only stone breather because Love Girls, she offshooted that from fire breathing because Rengoku tried to teach her and she couldn't really learn it. So she offshooted that. So she is presumably the only love breather. So we don't know if it's the waviness that's the love breathing. We don't know if it's the strength that's the love breathing. We don't know if it's movement that's love breathing. We don't know exactly what love breathing is other than the fact that she's just using love breathing.
The thing we do know about water breathing though is that it's mostly the adaptive one, with based on its natural elements of just changing shape.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but
Yeah.
adaptability and it being one of the easiest to learn, you would think that other people like
Would have a water wheel in their back pocket if it's very easy to learn.
Yeah.
You would think that it would be the first thing that you learn, just like everybody learns water breathing because it's so easy to learn. Now you have this basics. Now you can go off into your own thing, like kind of like math. You need to learn 2 plus 2 in order to learn what 2 times 2 is, in order to learn what 2 divided by 2 is, in order to learn whatever calculus is. It's an incremental step sort of thing. So it would have been better if it was learn the easy stuff to see that you can even learn it. Because there's some people that's like Murata, the little wimpy guy who has a little spurt of water. He's not very good
Yeah.
at it. So and this is the easiest thing to learn. So if somebody tried to teach him one of the harder ones, let's just say that mist breathing or wind breathing is one of the harder ones, he'd be a complete and total failure. So you try to learn water breathing. And if you can't even do that, we got nothing for you.
Yeah. And he doesn't even have all the forms, which
Yeah.
suck.
I don't know how he passed that entrance exam.
I mean, all you got to do
You
is
just
get out
gotta
the
hide.
forest. Yeah.
And that's a horrible entrance exam because there's so many just ways to cheese it.
I guess I ain't got nothing else for that. What else was another problem?
The entrance exam, it's trash. You can just cheese it. She was like, I got lucky that I passed the entrance exam, so I'm just working here at the mansion. But if somebody like Murata, let's say that he did not kill a single demon, he just hid and just stood behind other capable demon slayers. And he just passes it, and then they just go, "You're a demon slayer. Get on out there and start slaying demons." Because they don't test you on how many demons you slayed, and then this demon over here is at this mist demon, the little goopy underwater demon. This is a level 5 demon. You're a level 5 demon slayer because you killed 5 demons in the test, so you go over there. No, it's just once you're a demon slayer, you just go on out there. So they're just sending people out there who may or may not have the ability to even slay demons, but they're just sending them out there. It's not, if they were watching them going, "You've killed 5 demons, good job. You survived, so you can do maybe reconnaissance or the medical division or something." But no, it's just once you survive, pick your ore and then go on out there. And that's not a very good test because once you go on over to Rui, they're just sending waves and waves of people into the forest and they're all just getting killed. And it took some 10, 15, 20 people to get killed before they're just like, maybe we should send a Hashira. They don't have
Yeah.
an exact level once you're like a level 10 to gauge the person that they're sending them out to. It's just send out a person. And if they die, we'll send another person. And if they die, maybe it's time to send a Hashira. And it's not even send a level 7 person or a level 6 person. They instantly went Hashira time. So that's
Oh yeah.
it's going back. That's going a little too far. We'll probably get to the ranking system next.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
But just the test itself is not a very good test to bring in demons into the Demon Slayer core because you don't know their test. I mean, you don't know their level of strength at the end of the test.
I won't say it's that easy to choose because when Tanjiro came out, there was only like just six, air quotes, of them left, especially with the guy who tried to run away.
Hmm.
Hey, but we never seen him again after that.
I mean, he's
Eh,
dead. There's
Oh
we
yeah,
know.
he's 100%
Yeah.
dead. But I always
So
said
I,
that she got lucky, so it is kind of easy.
And
yeah,
she's not strong enough to be part of the actual core. That's why she just sits at the mansion.
When Tanjiro was in the Rui Forest, he was just like when Zenitsu did his lightning thing, he was like, "Is that lightning?" So I gotta assume that he hasn't really heard lightning that commonly for him to comment on it like that. So I don't know what Zenitsu did to survive that, other than hiding, unless he did the lightning breathing and Tanjiro just didn't notice it or anything. So I don't know what he did to survive that test.
Yeah, because
yeah.
if that's the
Zenitsu,
very first time Tanjiro heard lightning in that moment, which was so far away in the mountains, that would mean that Zenitsu did not use any of his techniques. And I can't see that happening.
yeah. But I do think Zenitsu does use his techniques there because maybe this is a bit of a stretch, but when they are fighting Utah, Tanjiro isn't always commenting on Zenitsu's like thunder speed or like how they're like not commenting on how loud it is even, especially. So I do think he can like lower it, and especially in that moment when you're talking about to where it's like he had a whole flashback to his grandfather and everything and about failing him, especially for how his aura was bursting out. Oh, like I can definitely say that one's a bit more powerful than the rest that led on to that.
I mean, yeah, you can say that he could lower it, but would he have a reason
Yeah.
to? If he's fighting for his life, would he have a reason to hold back the lightning sound? That's all. It's just, yeah, you could say that it's possible, but just going back to the
Yeah.
whole, it's not very difficult to. I mean, it's probably hard to cheese it. Murata, he passed, and he factually sucks, and he was not in the class with Tanjiro, so it's got to be assumed that he
Was
did.
he in the one with Giyu?
I don't
Because if I'm correct, him and Giyu are the same age, being at 22 years old.
I don't exactly remember. Let's say that it's. Let's just simply say that it's not. Let's just say that he was in a class
Yeah, that's
before
fair.
Tanjiro. I don't want to make assumptions like, yeah, he's been a demon slayer for 15 years. No, I don't want to make an assumption like that. I'm just gonna say that he was in a class before Tanjiro. Let's say a couple of months. He's been doing this for a couple months longer than Tanjiro, and he still can't produce water like that. So what did he do to
Yeah.
pass? That's what we gotta. That's what you can say, that it's not that easy to do, but it's at least kind
Yeah.
of easy. Where Aoi did it, and she said that she wasn't that strong. Murata did it, where he wasn't in
Yeah.
the class of Tanjiro, and he's been out slaying demons presumably for longer than Tanjiro. And Zenitsu did it when we don't know how he did it. Even if he did go to sleep and bam bam bam. Was he asleep the entire time? Did he
Yeah.
go to sleep and then he just laid there and no demons touched him? It's a
I know
big
this is
question
kind of
mark
making my
for.
case worse,
Hmm?
but I have to think about it. How did Shinobu do it? Or did she even go there?
How did Shinobu do it?
Especially since she said point blank she is not strong enough to cut the head off of a demon.
How did Shinobu do it?
And I don't even know if she had her poison at that time to utilize that. So did she just run around and escape demons? Was she just fast enough to hop around and escape them?
Who knows?
That's why the entrance exam is problematic, because it can allow people to fall through the cracks that are not good enough.
And then you're just sent out in waves to just be killed because there is no. Hey, it's just, hey, there's a demon here. Send somebody there, and then you find out it's a upper six or a lower six. They don't know the strength of that goop demon that Tanjiro fought for the first time. They don't know that the drum demon was a former six. I mean, upper six. They don't know that. They just
Yeah.
send people out there. So that's just not a good a system either. It's just, hey, we heard of demons over there. Go on and get it. I'm a level 10. That demon's a former upper six. How am I supposed to kill that? Oh, you just can't. If you can't, we'll just send another person, and then another person, and another person.
Yeah. Like you most definitely got lucky with Sabito being there.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're also going for because that's why they give you to where he had Survivor's Guilt but trained so much just became one of the Hashira. There's some people like that, right, who can just slip through and just get Survivor's Guilt to become really strong.
Yeah,
Because
but
like you said it yourself,
go ahead.
you can go.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Because like you guys said it yourself, some people can slip through, but it's like they didn't know that was like upper six or like lower six. So those people can be strong, right? It's just that they didn't expect to fight lower six, especially since we've seen the lower moons can provide challenges. Like what was that one shot with Rengoku where he fought lower two
I can't remember, but
with all the guns and stuff?
yeah, I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah. So there are some people that can also slip through with Survivor's Guild and just become really strong because Gi was a great asset.
But here's the thing: Giyu was still competent. He just wasn't
Yeah.
as strong as his friend. Uh, the dude that can't do a water technique is not competent. Aoi is competent, but she is super weak. As in, she cannot cut heads off of demons either. She is so weak, they went, you cannot be an active member of the Corps. You sit down. They were so scared for her that when the moon not the moon, the Hashira tried to take her, Sandra was like, no, I'll go in her place. We'll all go.
I thought it was because she was scared.
Because she's weak, she would die. She's not strong.
Yeah. Mm.
How about the ranking system? We don't know how you advance with the ranking system. They said that there's various levels. We don't really see anybody that's between the level 10 and Hashira. It's just now the once you get in, you're level 10. They rank up three ranks. Don't know how they rank those three ranks up. We don't see anybody ranked 2 or 3 of note where we know for a fact that they're ranked 2 or 3. So why even have the ranking system if you're not going to do anything with it outside of the lowest rank and Hashira?
Yeah. I understand this one. The ranking system is pointless.
Oh, completely. Because
Yeah.
we never see anybody that's not either Hashira or wherever Tanjiro's at. And we
Like
only
a
see where,
Kakashi or someone.
yeah, we don't see a level 1, a level 2, a level 3. It's always either Tanjiro and gang can handle it, or it's time to send the Hashiras.
I guess Kanao is a good middle point because she's not a Hashira, but she's like better than Tanjiro's friend group.
Yeah, but we don't know what rank she is because she was in the
Oh
same.
no,
Oh, go ahead.
oh no. It was shown in like one episode and also in the manga that she's in like in the upper rank. I think she was like it was in the entertainment district arc to where they said that they ranked up right. And they
Mm-hmm.
started to point to Kanao, who's a bit above them.
I mean, even if she's a bit above them, we still don't
Yeah.
know
How?
what her we first off, we don't know how you rank up.
And
Can you rank down?
second off, we don't know what it grants you to rank up. What it means to rank up. What does it get you once you rank up? Do you go on better missions? Do you go on more missions? Do you go on less missions? Do you get more money? I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's just more money.
Yeah, that's fine to think that, but we have no evidence.
Yeah.
It's just because I can
Because
just
the
think that you go
Hashira
on more
is
missions.
walking around.
Like, is it akin to police officers, where you have your rank and
Oh, they
file,
just beat
you're
us.
on the streets, and then you got detectives and lieutenants and captains and all of that? Is it like that where depending on the rank you are specifies what case you're on, homicide or what have you? Or is it strictly you've killed enough powerful demons, up one rank, here's more money? Again, we don't know.
Yeah.
And that's the issue with Demon Slayer. there is a lot that is just not explained about Demon Slayer, and understandably, it's a lot about the world building stuff as opposed to what's going
Yeah.
on the page. But there are a lot of things in Demon Slayer that they just do not care to explain or explore.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Can that be our next topic? World building then?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So the world building is, and I rarely care about world building, but the world building of Demon Slayer to me is so bad that it cannot be ignored. When you have actual demons running around and people are and the demon slayers are like, oh, the government doesn't recognize us, so we gotta stay under wraps. How do you not just take a demon head to whoever the shogun or what have you? How do you not show people that these are real so they can protect themselves better instead of just being a rumor? Oh, demons exist and they kill people and stay inside after dark or they'll come and get you. If people knew about these things, they could be able to help them.
Better protect themselves. There would be better people instead of just hearing about the Demon Slayer Corps from somebody wandering around. You could have training camps in order to go in there, and instead of just having Moritas, you can have better, more competent people if you had some sort of government training. But there's no reason given why we don't have any government training. There's no reason given why the government doesn't recognize demon. There's no reason outside of the one mentioned in the train arc. There's nothing ever said about the government ever again. When you've got the entire entertainment district arc where people are getting sliced up, whole buildings are getting sliced up, people are killed, and nobody's talking about this. Nobody there was a high enough rank that knows somebody in the government to be like, hey, yo, demons, yo, what's going on? It's things like that that really hurt the world. So we'll just stick with the government for right now in the world building.
Yeah. I guess with the government official, like in the entertainment district arc, I guess I could say that he may die there, or so you can't report. But the
But
government
the,
itself, yeah,
the
it is a
issue
bit
is
weird.
the Demon Slayer Corps is not showing the
Hmm.
government this thing so they
Rengoku
can.
can take a demon, put him in a sack, put some Wisteria in there so he's docile, take him over to whatever the highest ranking official is in the area, or even in their version of Washington D.C. I don't know about feudal Japan, whatever the shogun, whatever you have to do, and just go. This is a demon. Here, I'm going to cut off his head. Look, he's still moving. Now, let me throw him in the sun, and he dissolves. There are hundreds of thousands of these. Do you know all of these disappearances? Demons. You know what happened in the entertainment district last week where 100 people were killed and a lot of people were saying that demons did it? Demons did it. Why don't people, there's no reason given why the Hashiras don't do that. Now, me and him had a good idea of, in the past there was a shogun that was that tried to usurp the power of the Demon Slayer Corps, get all the ores, get all the they wanted to be in charge. So then the leader was just like, look, we can't even work with the government anymore because they're just gonna take what we have and do it worse. So we can't even work with them anymore. We got to do it our own way. But there's nothing like that in the manga. There's no reason given why they're not seeking out help. When Tanjiro is in the middle of the street and somebody turns into a demon and starts biting people, a cop just goes, "What's going on here?" Instead of just going, demon alert, set up the demon alarms, do something for the demons." And
Yeah.
there's nothing like that. And there's no reason given to why there's nothing like that. And that really, really hurts.
Yeah. I see where you're coming from with that. I always thought it was weird too.
Yes, it's weird. And going back to the cop thing, you would think that there's no reason given going back to the world building stuff that Wisteria is just not planted, even surreptitiously by the Demon Slayer Corps, just to keep out demons out of towns. You could be like, once the people know about demons, you can be like, okay, everybody has Demon Slayer incense that they light at night, and then that keeps them away. But even if they don't know about demons, why are Demon Slayers not planting Wisteria trees outside of town to at least ward them off, kind of?
I
There's
guess they
no
don't want to look suspicious
just
because
a
even Zenitsu said it.
I mean, it's just a
because it's like they just have their swords out. Like it would be somewhat weird if I just see some random person just planting these flowers here.
I
And I don't
mean,
know if like
outside of a
gnomes.
town, I mean, you're just planting flowers outside
Yeah.
of a town. It'd be like if you were to go to some abandoned field, some field that's just nothing's growing there, and you dig up and go, I'm gonna plant flowers. I doubt many people are gonna be like, oh, what the is that person doing? Report him. Especially if you got a bunch of flowers plots next to you, they're gonna go, oh, he's planting flowers.
Yeah.
With more of the
But
world building, the crows are a terrible system because one, they have to be wherever they need to be to just hear the rumor of a demon. So a demon has to attack. A demon has to attack for weeks because it takes however long for whoever's the closest to get there. So a demon has to be attacking for days or weeks before a Demon Slayer core member can be there.
and there also has to be the rumor of the demon.
So there
because
has to be the rumor of the demon. They have to be attacking for days and weeks before a Demon Slayer core member gets there. And then they have to still be there when the Demon Slayer core member gets there.
because the goop demon that Tanjiro fought for the first time, he had stolen 10, 15 girls by the time that Tanjiro got
Yeah.
there.
So let's just say he's stealing a girl a night. That's 10, 15 days of a demon just attacking people. And again, that's just based off of rumor. Because it's not like people know what demons are. They see the crows and go, please report to the Demon Slayer Corps for the demons. It's a terrible system that allows way more people to die and get hurt than should be allowed because it's a messenger crow
Hoping that
flying
somebody's in the area.
just hoping somebody's in the area and hoping a demon attack is happening in this town too.
And hoping that the rumor spreads that there is potentially a demon in that area. And then once the Demon Slayer gets there, they have to find the demon while not saying, hey, I'm a Demon Slayer, because people don't know that demons exist or Demon Slayer exists. So you guys have to be like, is there anything weird going on in this town? And hope to stumble upon something.
Let's just say that there's a bunch of people that go missing in a town. And the Demon Slayer Corps gets there and it's just some serial killer. How are they to know? And again, it's not even like people haven't seen demons, because in the entertainment district, there were like a dozen people that saw demons. Demons have been seen. They're basically a loud whisper of a secret. But the system just allows them to run rampant. Crows are a terrible system.
yeah. I would see it being hard to implement, especially for like them not working with the government. So maybe this is like the best they can do.
I can't even say that because the main... that's manga stuff.
Oh no, it's fine.
Okay, yeah, the main dude can see the future.
Yeah.
So... But
How far is it into the future?
who knows?
Yeah.
But he can see into the future. This is something that's said, such that his family has amassed such a massive wealth in order to pay all the demon slayers. So you can see into, I don't know, stocks, lotteries, something like that. But you can't see that demons are attacking outside of 10, 15 days. It's got to be 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 people getting snatched before you just go, all right, send somebody.
Yeah, sadly enough, that seems like the case.
Yeah, it's
Especially since he didn't even think that it would be a upper six or Gyutaro because he didn't have a future sight for it.
yeah, it's just the system of we gotta hope that something happens before we take action, and then we gotta hope that enough things happen that people talk, and then we gotta hope that the crow sees it, and then we gotta hope that the crow relates it to the demon slayer that's close by, and then we gotta hope that the demon slayer gets there in time before the demon goes away. And then
we gotta hope that Demon Slayer that's close enough is strong enough to take out the demon.
Yeah,
It's a terrible
because
system.
Tengen got kind of lucky.
Yeah, it's a terrible system.
It's just not a very good system.
I mean, OpenEye could have made it.
Small world building thing. This is localized to Japan. Nothing about the rest of the world. Nothing. Um, no American demons. I understand that Muzan is in America, but there's nothing stating that a demon can't just run over to America and then just start eating people. There's nothing about the rest of the world with demons.
Especially since they're
I
a
guess
secret and swordplay was a lot of feudal Japan type stuff. I don't know how much an American would utilize swords in those days. I don't know. I'm not a history buff.
Yeah, we're going back over to Bleach, where cowboy Bleach. It would just be cowboy Demon Slayer. Whatever America had at the time. It doesn't necessarily have to be swords. But, well, that's a good thing we could talk about. But yeah, it's just that the world is not very. It's just centralized to Japan, and then the whole Japan thing doesn't make sense because people don't know about demons, even though people are getting destroyed by demons. If you have 5, 6, 7, 8 people saying the same thing, you take them into separate rooms and just go, yeah, there was this demon girl with obies and she was slashing this whole town, and she was wearing black and pink and her hair was white. 8, 9 people say the same thing. You go, oh, wait a second, there's something to this. But where do you go from there if you're just a normal police officer? Don't know, because we never go back to the entertainment district. We don't know the follow-up to the entertainment district, the people that survived, the families that survived, the rebuilding.
Yeah.
If the Demon Slayer Corps even did anything to help rebuild the town after that, we don't know. We're just done with that, and we're moving on.
Yeah, it does feel like something the Demon Slayer Corps would do, especially since they did help that family.
Yeah, I would hope that the Demon Slayer Corps has some sort of fund set aside to rebuilding towns and stuff like that. But we don't know.
Yeah, and for the demon going across seas, right? I don't know if y'all talking about a boat. Oh, and I think y'all just mostly implying like a boat, right? But I don't see a guy running on water, especially for so long. He could just like outspeed the sun. And I think maybe one guy tried, but it didn't last.
Demons are a lot.
Probably already had.
Demons are very fast. We don't really see them
Yeah.
getting tired or anything. Running on water, yeah, sure, maybe they can't do that. I don't think that I'm pretty sure they don't need to breathe, so they can go underwater and just walk underwater or swim or something, or they can just go on a boat. If they go, there are demon slayers here who have the capability of killing me. Why don't I just go somewhere where they can't? Not even America. France. France is closer. China's closer. Doesn't have to be a whole journey to America,
Yeah, China's
however
worse.
many nautical miles that is, but just something closer. Outside of the purview of the Demon Slayer Corps. Because the Ten Hashira, they just handle Japan. You can have your belly full over somewhere in China and they'll never know. And then the more people that you eat, the stronger that you get. So you eat a whole bunch of demons. I mean, you eat a whole bunch of people with no pushback going back over to Japan, and you're strong enough to become one of the upper 6.
Yeah, or just get some blood from an upper 6.
or that, but they're stingy with the blood.
Yeah. Upper one is pretty cool though. He's a nice guy.
Anything that you particularly like about Demon Slayer? Any characters, any moments?
Yeah, I do think Demon Slayer sometimes has really good characterization. Like for example, Rengoku, to where even I heard you guys talk good about him, to where he doesn't have much, right? And he has like would y'all say he has a one note personality also? Because
Um, I wouldn't
I don't
say
know.
I wouldn't say one note as much as I definitely wouldn't say
Mist
one note.
guy.
Uh,
Yeah,
overtly cool dude, cool nice dude.
He has a
yeah,
personality trait that is prevailing over his other personality traits. I'll say that.
yeah. Because he's done pretty good. I don't love him, and I wasn't too sad when he died, but it's the fact that he himself does have that little amount of screen time, and he does his job well, right? Showing that she really can write a character really fast, especially for how we got of him, right? Him seeing him cheer up his brother is really nice after, even though it's his dream, right? It does feel like what actually happened, especially him cheering up his brother and telling him, "Yes, my father did not care." Or like that's a good moment for him.
Yeah.
And also him,
Go ahead.
yeah, and also him like dying to Kaza is pretty good,
Yeah,
right?
I have no issues mostly with Rengoku. The only issue I really have is how popular people perceive him to be. But I
I,
will
yeah,
say that Rengoku is the start of a very cyclical way of writing the Hashira, where they get their arc or screen time, they do their things, they get their backstory, and then they mostly either go away or die.
yeah,
And I feel like that's a
uh,
lot of the issue of Demon Slayer is in its writing structure where um
it's really fast.
it's not even fast. I don't care about the pacing.
Mhm.
Where we'll get Demon doing horrible things, sad backstory, sad death. Now, if you intersperse the sad backstory into like the drum demon, we get a little sprinkling of his past throughout until it's
Yeah.
fully realized at the end. If that was more prevalent instead of mostly just
Ah, I'm a hand demon. Ha ha ha. I killed all these people. But I really just wanted my brother to hold my hand. And then he dies, and then we never think about Hand Demon ever again.
I think Swamp Demon was amazing.
Swamp Demon,
Swamp Demon was better because he didn't have a sad backstory. He was just some
Yeah,
douchebag swamp
and he was
pieces.
also yeah, and he was also part of like the narrative they're going for with like Busan's people being victims. Like with the little backstory we got of him, all we just see is like Muzan holding this man by the head and telling him to shush and be quiet. It like we don't know what his previous life is. Is there like two roads? Maybe he was just some bad guy, or maybe he was just like some real all right guy at best, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, he's pretty good for what he does fall into, especially for how scared he was of Muzan not even trying to say like he's good.
Yeah, sometimes less is more. We don't need the swamp demon. Oh, I'm sad. We don't need the little bar girl disappearing and going, "Oh man, I just wanted to play with my brother." We don't need that sometimes. Sometimes people are
Yeah.
just sacks of garbage. Train demon. He didn't have a sad backstory. He was just like, "Oh man, I didn't even get to do my coolest thing," and he just died.
Oh man, I didn't go for power.
Yeah, but then towards the end, Akaza gets like 2 or 3 chapters dedicated to his backstory. The Entertainment District twins, they get a whole lot of time to their backstory. And
Rui.
Rui, and then
Yeah,
they
two.
die, and then nothing comes of that. We don't go, oh, that's now we can see the character change or grow. Now we can see the perception of the character change or grow. We can see the demons are actual people, and this demon is trying to better themselves. No, Entertainment District demons die, and then they are never brought up again. So we just got this whole backstory for them. As they're dying, they die, and then we move on. And it's like, that's not really. You got nowhere to put those emotions. Even if you're sad for them, you just go, I'm sad in the moment. And nothing comes of that sadness other than, well, I'm sad, and those characters are dead, and there's no redemption, there's no sorry, there's no nothing. They're dead, we're moving on. And when you have those sad dramatic moments, you should have something after that comes of it, a character reacting. If a character dies, a character reacting, their family reacting, the world changing in some way, some job that they
Yeah.
couldn't
Yeah.
fulfill, something comes of their death or their sadness. But these, it's just they're dead, and then there's nothing.
Uh, with Guitar, I actually did like the ending of his backstory to where he said he would become a demon over and over again because it's like it's like I do compare it to Dio a little bit, not because it's like it's similar, but it's like on how it's structured, right? Because we know he has a sad backstory, but he doesn't regret doing these bad things, right? Like how, like I'm just mostly curious, like how is it different from Dio, right? To where it's like they both do have sad backstories. Is it just because it's his death at the end?
It's just that it's not just the death at the end. If that was up earlier and you go once he was introduced or a little bit sprinkled throughout, so we can see him, even though he's picking at his little sister, like, oh, put your head back together. Oh, you're so weak. Oh, but you're so cute, so it's fine. You shouldn't let them. If we had that him going, it's it's my entire purpose in life to protect you and make sure that you're safe throughout his entire thing. So that when you see that he's worried that Zenitsu is slicing her and he's putting his eye on her to keep an eye on her and stuff like that. Now that we know, as we're seeing that he actually cares about his sister so much that he turned himself into a demon, then we could be like, okay, now we know why he's doing these things. Once at the end, we see why he's doing it, and then we have to either go back and rewatch it or remember the moments between those that help the ending part, that inform that ending part. So you go,
Yeah,
oh,
it's
I'd
just
rather.
like
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, it's just like because I see what you're trying to lead on. It's like Bleach, right? To where Aizen said he planned everything. Like, okay, we already know the story, but with this added context, this whole story like has some stuff to it that we now need to look over because it got like this subtle thing just notched in there that was always here,
Yeah, yeah. It
like a
completely
wrench.
it reinterpretates the story. So now it's completely different. This isn't just some douchebag demon. This is a douchebag demon that turned into a demon to protect his little sister because they had such a hard life.
Yeah,
So that
I
that
think
that
Doc.
helps. I think that would have been better implemented in between those moments, so that you can at least have some sort of sympathy once you see that Tengen is slicing that dude up. It's like, well, yeah, he's doing horrible things, but at the beginning, it was a good thing that he was trying to do. So you have that sympathy going in there, just like, man, I wish things could have turned out differently. And then you get to see the rest of the fight progress, and then they die instead of past. Man, I wish things could have turned out differently. Dead, done.
Yeah, I actually think he's a bit well done and with what you guys are trying to say because she does for how little it is get character development, realizing her brother's actually important, and especially since her last moments was like cursing him out or not cursing him but like chastising him
Mm-hmm.
and whining
Sure, but
when
then
they're in that scene. Oh, I can. Oh, thank you. When they're in that scene of like hell, right? She refuses to go to heaven because she wants to be with her brother. It's a sweet scene. Yeah, sorry. You guys can go
yeah,
now.
no, but it's just then she dies, and then nothing comes of it, and then
Yeah.
Tanjiro moves on, and everybody moves on, and then she's never brought up ever again. I don't know if you've seen something like Naruto. Jiraiya dies, and it's a big thing because then Naruto goes, I'm gonna take my master's teaching and then implement that into pain. I'm gonna do the frog form. Jiraiya's death is a big, big thing in Naruto for several characters, for several events. But here, the
Yeah.
demon dies, and then the demon just dies.
Because there's nobody left
Yeah.
to mourn the demon or think about the demon. They're just for most of the demon slayers in killing monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is why I kind of want to say that. Do you guys think Rengoku's death was well done? Because there's like someone constantly mourning him, like Tanjiro
Uh,
and his family.
sure, the death itself is done. The reverence that other people have for him is not very warranted because Tanjiro spent essentially a train trip with him, and then he gets the hilt of his sword, and there's constant moments of him going, "What would Rengoku do in this moment?" I don't think that the reverence is enough when he saw him fight once, and that was essentially
Yeah, he
it
couldn't
for it.
even see most of that fight.
Yeah, and but he's just like, dang, Muff and Rengoku, such that he goes over to his family and his dad is talking, and he's just like, don't you talk bad about Rengoku and crap like that, and his little brother's like, yeah, Rengoku would be real proud of you. It's not his place to say these things because he essentially, not even essentially, he just met Rengoku. So it's just the reverence that people have for him. I can understand like Giyu having reverence for him because he worked with him, being a Hashira and all. But Tanjiro being like, oh man, Rengoku, that's where I draw the line. Like I understand that we're getting what I asked for with the demons, where there's something following the death, but now that we got it, it can't just be that we got it. It has to be good.
It's just overhyped a bit.
Yes, he's definitely overhyped in what he did. That's all I feel about Rengoku.
I think Kokushiba was also so well done. He's like, I know it's a bit basic, but he's like my favorite upper demon. Even though
which
he
one
like
was that? What exactly? I forget which one that one is.
the one you hate, his design is, and from what I heard, he's the brother of the Sun Breather, to where just
the
from
one
what
with a
I
whole
see.
lot of eyes.
Yup.
Oh no,
Moon
that dude was hype. That's where it is. Cause again, the past was interspersed between all that stuff, all the things that were happening. So once he's just going like, oh crap, red blaze, he's not just freaking out because he's freaking out, and then we learn as he's dying. He's just like, oh my brother, oh crap, and then we see a couple that dude was hype. That's like no.
That's
that's
more
the dude.
of
That's
what
the
I
one.
was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love him. I want hair like him. But anyway.
But yeah, going back, since we're talking about manga stuff like that, there's a guy with a gun. Why don't other people get guns if it's so good long range?
Why, as far as we'll even just add this to weaponry that's not just swords. So we could have spears, we could have arrows, especially since the poison Hashira, her poison isn't special to her. It's not like she only it's her blood and only her bloodline can use it. Anybody can use the poison she utilizes. So poison tipped arrows, poison tipped spears, poison tipped anything. And of course we've got bullets and guns. So why are swords the main utilized thing when there's guns and someone that can create a poison that kills demons?
Huh? What happened?
We were saying, you're talking to someone else.
Oh no, it's fine.
Oh yeah. So with these weapons, I don't understand why just swords are the main thing. Now I can understand at least with some of the poison, you can go, they might get the poison, they might find a way to counteract it. But in the interim, you take out so many more demons that even if the poison in future gets some type of resistance to it, for now, you can take out 50, 100, 200, 500 demons with it before it becomes a problem of, oh, the demons know how to stop this now.
Oh. Yeah. Because the demons have been around for a long time.
So there's
especially hand demon.
There's so many ways to take out demons. Because even with the things like poison and those things, they could help they can help regular people too. You don't even need to be a demon slayer to use those. Any good bow and arrow user, any warrior, even if you can't do Sunbreathe, you can still be of an asset to the Demon Slayer Corps in exterminating demons if you have this type of poison.
Yeah, like Tengen's wives.
If you have this gun.
Well, yeah, I just remembered that. What was that arrow contraption she had?
Yeah, it's just she shot a whole bunch of little spear thingies. Yeah, it's just like...
Yeah, and that poison was really potent, too.
Yep. And it's just, here it is, and it's here and never again. But we got a bunch of people with swords, and then we got this one guy with a gun, and we don't know why he has a gun and why other people don't have guns.
We have this one person with the poison that easily takes out demons, but we don't know why it's not utilized more for other people. Just one of the many
Oh
issues
yeah.
of this.
Oh yeah. I also do really like Tanjiro. What do you guys think of him?
He's plain.
Yeah, there's nothing super special about him other than his inability to lie, which is not shown often enough. I just don't like how people have to turn to the camera and go, "This dude is the nicest dude that anybody will ever meet. Anybody has ever meet, will ever meet. He's the nicest guy that will ever
He's
exist."
just such a nice boy.
Some dude is just
I
like,
sometimes you can go.
oh yeah, it's just the train thing that really capped it off. Where this dude is just like, it's my dream to die in a peaceful dream where I get to live and all this stuff. And in order to do that, I have to kill Tanjiro. And he goes into his heart, and his heart is so fluffy and warm that he's just like, dang, he's the nicest guy who has ever lived. And he changes his whole worldview and his perspective. And then we never see that guy again.
Yeah. That's that's what I was about to say. Like I want to make him my favorite character because I don't really like you that much, sadly enough.
Yeah.
Especially after watching a bit of the anime. Or when I say a bit, I mean I didn't make it to season two.
Mm-hmm.
Just yelling at the kid.
What do you think? Going back to the whole world building things. What do you think about the ghosts that appear in with the kids?
Weird.
Yeah, that's another
Because
thing
then
of
I
world
also
building because ghosts exist.
Ghosts exist. They can harm people in the physical world because we see them harming Tanjiro. They have knowledge that these people that they have knowledge that they can share past the afterlife. So going over to the entertainment district, both of them were just like, yeah, we killed 5, 6, 7 Hashira. Those Hashira should be like, hey, yo, there's 2 of them people. They got poison. Watch out for that. Because they have that knowledge that they can share to people. But for some reason, we don't ever see any other ghosts other than the Sabito and Mahiko or whatever their names were up in before that. And they're just training Tanjiro for all that time, giving him knowledge, giving him experience and all this stuff. And there's never any ghosts ever again. And that's a big problem because ghosts can feasibly help because they can interact with physical beings because we saw that, and they can share knowledge, which we've seen that.
Yeah. Even with Tanjiro's like family hallucinations.
Yeah, I'll say you could
Yeah.
say those are hallucinations, but the kids were ghosts, and ghosts
Yeah.
exist, and it's hard to even say they're hallucinations since Nezuko gets the exact same thing as a demon. So it's even hard to
Yeah.
say Tanjiro's body is just manifesting what he needs to do in that moment of wake up or breathe or whatever. When Nezuko gets the exact same type of thing, there's no way. Like it's a better argument for hallucination, but I can't say it's a hallucination. It's got to be a ghost.
Yeah, I was mostly them just calling them hallucination for the joke that you guys have
Oh,
sometimes to
dude.
like trigger.
Oh, trigger. That was just the dumbest point. But again, I would more accept the family being a hallucination.
That's a lot easier.
I will refuse to accept the kids were hallucinations. That's just ridiculous. If there's nothing else, we can start getting ready to wrap up. Because I have stuff to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, I don't want you to be late for your football.
Oh, I'm already late for that, but I got other stuff to do as well.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
guess I'll just go then.
All right. Yep.
Have
Thanks
a
for
good day,
joining
you
us.
too.
You too.
Oh wait,
hmm
before I go, do you guys know how to interview people?
We have interviewed people. I've interviewed Jason Wishnoff, which is the voice of Bakugo Tagami in Danganronpa, as well as Echo in League of Legends, I believe he played, or Nocturne in League of Legends he played. I interviewed him, and I also interviewed, we interviewed Just Stop, which would be coming out sometime this week.
Really, you could just ask them. The worst they can say is no.
Yeah.
Yeah, just whatever platform they're on, Twitter, YouTube, Discord, whatever.
Get a series of questions you want to
Ask them.
Yeah.
And then we moving on.
Yeah, because I'm trying to interview. You've probably seen the DA. Hey, but I was trying to interview some people.
Yeah. Just ask them. Again, the worst they can say is no, or I'm not interested.
Or I don't have time.
Or I don't have time. But some people, you put it out there, they'll go, okay, when would it be? What would I have to do? What time? That type of thing. And you go, this. Okay, I can match that. Let's set it up. Yeah, just say I need like 30 minutes, 40 minutes of your time.
Yep, just ask. Asking is the easiest thing that you can do.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep, no problem.
See you guys.
Thanks for joining us, people in chat. I'm not reading none of your bullshit.
Thank you, Jeremiah Bullfrog, for becoming a member.
Thank you for becoming a member. We do more member stuff.
We did. We do. We really do.
Yeah, we're gonna start thinking about what we can do for member stuff. So y'all aren't just freely giving us $1 every month. We'll maybe when we start doing these new series, we'll put them out a day early for members or something. Who knows? Whatever we do. Don't come to anything we do, please. Thank you. Love and Epo when we see him be good and hardworking without having to be said he was nice. Absolutely. So we are out of here.
Bye.
All right, see you.
Hallucinations. Oh my god. That is so cap. I don't think we need shove off for this. Especially since we've heard it over. Alright. We're out of here, y'all.